On this episode of Star Trek Universe, it's time to hunt a Horta as we review Star Trek 127, The Devil in the Dark, right after these words from our mystery per GM miners. Welcome into Star Trek Universe. We are continuing our rewatch / first time watch of Star Trek the original series. I am David C. Roberson, he who watched, then rewatched, and rewatched, and rewatched, and rewatched, and it keeps going.
I'm just waiting for it to end. I am Effie Ophelders, she who had first time watched. Period. That's the only one time I've seen it.
Yes. The very brief memory alpha synopsis: the Enterprise arrives at Janus 6, where an unknown monster is destroying machinery and killing the miners, threatening the entire mining operation.
Silicon life forms.
Silicon life forms. What did you think? Did you like this one?
It was fun enough. As soon as I saw the bowling ball, I was like, that's an egg. That's kind of a given at that point. Like, it doesn't take you very long to piece together. So, in a way, the characters are just very slow on the uptake. But other than that, there's some fun stuff. Like the mind melt, once again, an opportunity for Nimoy to act. Something other than emotionless, I suppose. And it's not like we've had two better episodes, I guess, previously. Then so it's been a slight decline, but it's solid. It's fine. I wasn't too bothered by the effects of the time, and it was fine for me. Like, it works. It's just. It's a bit slower, a bit lighter.
I have a strange relationship with the Devil in the Dark, and I always seem to remember it as one that I don't care for. But then every time I watch it, I'm like, that was really good. Like, I liked it a lot, and I do very much. I don't think there's ever been a time where I watched it. Or I don't remember one where I watched it and went, "Oh yeah, I forgot the egg thing," because it's like, it is exactly like what you're saying. The second you see the ball and Spock staring at it, you're like, "Oh, Spock already knows they're eggs."
Yeah, he's just
already
not
got
saying
an idea.
shit.
Yeah. He's just like, I can't prove it.
It's just too speculative.
It's too speculative because we can't understand this form of life, but there's an egg.
Yeah. Like, thank you for at least knowing already what I can already also tell. So in that sense, it has a bit of that insulting your intelligence as a viewer, but it's a fine episode. Then there's a lot of fun character stuff and dialogue stuff that I think carries it through an otherwise not as inspired concept, where it is very much you destroyed eggs, she took revenge. Makes sense. We see the plot here, but there's not much mystery surrounding it.
I think it's different though. It's interesting because of the difference it has to the man trap. Where we're looking once again at a last of its kind. And, but here it's a little different because they're saying, like Spock is saying, if you kill this thing, it is a crime against science.
Yeah.
It's a silicone-based life form. We don't have those.
No, exactly. It is, and it is fun to have that divide between him and Kirk, but at the same time, once again, I was also very much like, oh god, we are really not trying to understand anything. We are very much in shoot on sight mode, which is always a little frustrating. Where because I am instinctively like, don't. It would be if that was the right choice, this was a bad episode. Like it wouldn't work like that. We wouldn't have an episode.
Yeah.
So maybe be slightly more considerate. But he gets there. Kirk gets there.
Yes, but one of the really cool, I really like the way they do it, because Kirk is very much like dude, I told you we can't afford to mess with this thing. We, last of us kind or not, sorry, it's killing people.
Yeah.
Fair, especially without the knowledge of the eggs. Somewhat fair. Spock is like, yeah, I want to preserve it. And then the second that, like, he was like, all right, now you can also try to capture it. Kirk's like, nope, shoot to kill.
Yeah.
And then tries to take Spock off the thing, and gives him all these, and that's very light and fun, where he's, like, trying to come up with different reasons why Spock should stay behind and help Scotty, and Spock is just refuting him.
Do not make sense.
Yeah, just refuting him every step of the way, and he's like, all right, come with me. But what I love about it is that once they separate, and Kirk is like, "Hey, I got the thing in the sights." Clearly, Spock has a very emotional reaction and says,
"Yeah, he is worried for Kirk.
Kill it
immediately.
Kill it right now. We don't have no. This is your life, Jim. Don't do it. And it's about as emotional as you ever really see him get for the most part, but except for a couple of things." But I'm
sure we'll get there.
It is really nice because he was so passionate about, like, we have to save this thing.
Yeah.
And
it is a turnaround that's fun to watch because, they don't immediately agree. They both sort of change their mind and then come back together.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's more interesting at least, but it's also like it's nice to see Kirk also have the instinct of, oh, I'm as long as, like, I'm threatening this creature, and it's keeping its distance, and there's no reason to shoot now.
I do think, I do want to point out that, like, the Horta was killing all these miners, and but it wasn't until they used the phaser 2.
Yeah, the strong ass weapons.
Yeah, and harmed it. So, like, it's coming towards Kirk, like, gonna fuck you up. He pulls up the phaser, and it's like, oh, nope.
It wasn't threatened before by the phasers because it knew it could take it. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had to, like, blast it a bit to,
to instill fear. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So it'd be like, hey, sorry, but it was moving super fast and killing people without even letting them respond.
Which, all in all, it seems like a very emotional response to having the safety of all of your offspring and the continuation of your species threatened.
Yeah.
But then we do have that line from Spock where, it has such a logical mind, where it's like, I guess, but also it feels more emotional than that.
Yeah.
So in a sense, like, but I still feel like you could have just assumed if miners opened up a new level and started dying, maybe you disturbed something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the monster is, not knowing what the monster is, maybe just don't do that level. Maybe you fucked up. Like, without knowing about the eggs, it's very easy to go, well, you're disturbing something. Something is not right on that particular spot, so maybe go elsewhere. You have a planet. Oh.
No. Like, more colonizing.
Yeah, but they're already mining an entire planet for, we need these minerals because the entire fleet depends on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure, but, like, I do know the last movie of the original series crew deals with mining a planet to its natural end.
That seems like an appropriate theme for the time being and also the current times. And
I don't remember a lot of mining in the next generation era, the 24th century. I'm probably wrong, and somebody could probably tell me.
Who knows? We'll get there.
And be like, it was episode 748. Okay. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot about that one. It's interesting to see that there are certain things that happen more often. Also weird is, like, I don't know what organization the miners Oh, actually, it was a real mistake.
Nice slip up.
It was
yeah.
a real mistake. I don't know what kind of society or organization they're from, really, and how it relates to Starfleet. But I mean, they're actively talking about raising their profits and the Horde is going to help them be very, very rich.
Yeah, there is some semblance of capitalism still. There is a company.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And also those very isolated 3 miners on the I don't know, the really harsh planet that were also filthy rich because nobody wanted the job. There's some inklings of that system still. But
you talking about Mud's women?
Was that Mud's women? No.
Yeah, because they bought.
It might have been.
Bought the women. They were the ones.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. Yeah. They were rich. Yeah, fair. Okay, I forgot Mud was also in that one. Apparently, I separated those scenes in my mind. But yeah, the there is an expansion drift, of course, for the. But that only turns up at the end, really, because before that, they're mostly trying to protect the current production line where it is, we need a certain amount of these minerals because apparently it's fuel or whatever, or of great importance to technology across the Union.
Yeah. I mean, look, we have in canon later on, there's plenty of gold pressed latinum and other different kinds of, monies and jewels and shit. And even
glass beads and stuff.
And other people make fun of, the Federation for not having money.
Yeah.
So.
Not yet.
Whatever. I don't know. There's also a line
because this seems like a fairly human organization. So
yeah. Somewhere in the original series, there's reference to how much Spock is worth to Starfleet. And he starts to give a number.
Oh, that's fun. That makes sense for him.
Yeah. There's a quote in here, and I'm surprised I've never heard anyone use it in Kirk, Spock / fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk says, "Kiss it, baby it, flatter it if you have to, but keep it going."
Yeah. It's a fun line.
Yeah. This is the first time.
It's not how Scott. It's not something Scott can work with, because clearly the pump just dies later. But
yeah. This is the first time McCoy says, I'm a doctor, not a ... This is a thing that he develops. It's a big trope.
Yeah. You've told me this before. This is, I remember him saying it.
I'm a doctor,
which in the
not
context,
a bricklayer.
it made sense.
Yeah.
And then he, lays some bricks pretty well, apparently.
Yeah.
What was it? Concrete? Yeah.
Thermoconcrete. Yeah. That's mostly made of silicone.
Yeah. Well, smart. It works.
Yeah. I mean, they had let's see, Gene Kuhn's original script featured a different chemical substance as the base of the Horta, but researcher Kellum DeForest corrected it to silicone, as the original choice seemed to be theoretically impossible.
Ah. And we don't know what the original idea was? Like what? Something radioactive? Like what did they come up with?
It was, I don't know. It was a different chemical substance is all it says.
Fair enough.
And at the end of this is the one where NBC announced that Star Trek would be renewed renewed for a second season. Closing
congrats.
Out during the closing credits of this episode on March 9th, 1967, it says. There is I think I even quoted it to you after I'd watched the episode. I love this line. By golly, Jim, I'm beginning to think I can cure a rainy day.
Yes, you mentioned that one. It is just silly. It is very McCoy. He's a humble man.
I love the conversation at the end with Spock saying the Horta has a very logical mind, and after close association with humans, I find that curiously refreshing. And then
I'm glad he can throw back some of the shade he gets.
Yeah. I love Kirk saying, I suspect you're becoming more and more human all the time. Captain, I see no reason to stand here and be insulted.
I feel like he said that before.
Yeah, fine exchange, though. Fine exchange.
It works. It sure works. But I feel like the exact Spock response has been used before.
Maybe.
It rings a bell.
Maybe. So this is the only episode in the original series that has no female speaking parts.
Damn. Yeah, you're right. It's a sausage fest, this colony of miners. And
according to Memory Alpha, this fact was noted by Gene Roddenberry to Gene L. Coon in a letter reviewing the episode on March 23rd, 1967, where he states, per NBC's continual reminder to us, one which I find myself agreeing with, we should make some more use of females as crew members in Planet stories, or find some way to include females among groups of miners who are here on a planet years at a time. Granted again that this can get phony and unbelievable if not handled right, but let's keep in mind that we're in a century where women are granted equal status and responsibility with men. We should keep reminding the assistant directors of this and discuss the same with directors so that they can oversee and control same.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Fair. Makes sense. Especially because there is no reason why they couldn't operate phasers. Like, just hand them some of the weapons. They're now part of the security team. Like, it could have worked very easily, even if you don't want to include them in the miners' society.
Yeah. I loved this. The creator of the Horta costume apparently just like wore it into Gene L. Coon's office, the producer of Gene L. Coon's office, and was like, look what I designed. And Coon was like, what? That's great. What is it? And he was like, I don't know. It could be whatever you want. and Coon was like, I'll write a script around it. And
that's lovely.
And
I love that sometimes.
He wrote The Devil in the Dark in 4 days.
That's
just so
amazing.
The costume could be used.
I love that. That is a good reason to just be like, well, I got to make something out of this. What does it look like to me? And yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yep, that was fun.
I love that.
In his book Star Trek Memories, William Shatner identified this as his favorite episode because his father died during filming. And Leonard
sounds like he didn't like his father.
No, he was having a really hard time with his dad.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
Nimoy's delivery of the mind meld lines made him laugh. No, here's the thing though. Those
lines go on for a while though.
Yeah, and they didn't. They wanted, because Shatner was kind of dealing with some shit, and you notice in the scene when they cut to the Horta, like, that is totally not Kirk. That is some stand-in who doesn't look anything like Kirk.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, it's because Shatner was busy dealing with his dad and stuff. So, a different story that I think from a different Shatner book, I think up till now, but while he was gone, Nimoy was working on the whole pain speech and what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I heard you got a new thing. When he comes back, he goes, I heard you got a new thing. Show me what you're doing. And he gets like super like into the method acting, and he's like, pain. And at like the apex of him screaming and shrieking, pain, Shatner apparently called out, somebody get this man an aspirin. And everyone cracks up, and Nimoy gets furious and runs off.
Of course.
That was
great. Great to know that they could not get along for the life of them. God damn it.
They could, but there was some animosity. There was definitely some stuff.
Yeah, no. I mean more like Shatner being a hard person to work with at times, and Nimoy being a bit overly serious. It's a fun image in my mind. It makes sense.
Yeah, I like it. I like that story.
It seems like good casting too. Like it reaffirms my And
apparently Shatner was just trying to like lighten the mood because he was feeling sad because his dad died.
Yeah, that's what humor tends to do, and I've had very good laughs at funerals because it's just the situation where everyone is at their peak level of comedy. Yeah,
I'm not sure if you're being serious or not.
Oh no, I am absolutely being serious. Yeah. My family tends to really cope through humor, so there is especially my close family, like the extended family. might have been taking it slightly more seriously. We were outside laughing our ass off.
Fair enough.
Not during eulogies or anything, but like,
Yeah.
you know, while walking around and like waiting for the grave diggers to, you know, stuff like that. You're just, you make something out of that day, and it helps console each other, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Many years ago, we went to a wake for a woman in our family we were somewhat close to. But, I'm no good in social situations, especially if I don't know anyone involved.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sort of hanging out in the hallway at this, wake parlor or whatever. And my mom walks out, and we're just kind of hanging out. And I, absent-mindedly, with no intent or malice behind it, started going doom, doom, doom. Another one bites the dust.
Oh my God!
Doom, doom. Another one bites the dust. And then like,
oh, that's lovely.
And then still even more absent-mindedly, my mom starts singing along, and then like, and then at some point we realize that a whole bunch of people are just standing there like staring at us as we're kind of both dancing and going, and another one's gone, another one's gone, another one bites the dust. Hey! Oh shit! Oh no! I'm sorry.
Not in that way. Oh, poor choice of lyrics. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which I found out today, like a friend of our family passed away. I already knew.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But my brother-in-law went to the wake and went up to the eldest son, who has just completed becoming a monk. And my brother-in-law walks up and says, "Congratulations," as the first thing. He just like walks up to him and goes, "Congratulations." And then remembers, shit, this is dad's
but also
wake,
wrong order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Order of significance, I guess. Poor guy.
All right, let's call it, I guess. Next time, we'll get to witness the debut of one of the most famous foils in Trek history. We'll be reviewing Errand of Mercy. I hope you join us. Until then, Joe Lontrue, live long and prosper.
Eat a dick, plank on a clit. Bye-bye.
I like that that's a part of it now.
Now it is. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yay. I said it first.
You did.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Roberson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.